Imagine a world where the creatures of the deep, organisms forged in crushing darkness under pressures that would obliterate a human body, suddenly rose to the surface. Anglerfish drifting through sunlit waves, giant squid hunting alongside dolphins. The blobfish, looking nothing like the meme you know, gliding through coral reefs. What would happen? Would they dominate? Would they even survive a single hour? The answer is far more terrifying and more fascinating than you might think. To understand what would happen, we first need to understand where these creatures come from. The deep ocean is the largest habitat on Earth, and it is utterly alien. At 1,000 meters down, the pressure is already 100 times what you feel at the surface. At nearly 4,000 meters, close to the average depth of the ocean floor, it is about 400 times. And at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, nearly 11,000 meters below the waves, the pressure reaches a staggering 1,080 atmospheres. That is nearly 16,000 pounds per square inch, pressing on every square inch of your body. A styrofoam cup sent to the bottom of the Mariana Trench comes back the size of a thimble. Down here, there is no sunlight. The temperature hovers between 1 and 4 degrees Celsius, just above freezing, regardless of whether it is summer or winter on the surface above. This is a world of permanent darkness, bone-crushing pressure, and near-freezing cold. And yet, life thrives here. Deep-sea creatures have evolved extraordinary adaptations to survive these extremes. Their secret weapon, a molecule called TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide. This compound acts as a molecular bodyguard for proteins. Under extreme pressure, proteins tend to unfold and lose their shape, which means they stop working. TMAO counteracts this by strengthening the hydrogen bonds in cellular fluid, essentially wrapping proteins in a protective cage of water molecules. The deeper a fish lives, the more TMAO it has. Surface fish have about 40 millimoles per kilogram, but a Haddle snailfish living at 7,000 meters has nearly 390. And here is the fascinating part. TMAO may actually set the depth limit for fish. Below about 8,200 meters, a fish would need so much TMAO that its cellular fluid would become isosmotic with seawater. Water would rush into its cells uncontrollably, and the cells would burst. This is why no fish has ever been found below about 8,400 meters. Their cell membranes are also radically different. Deep-sea organisms pack their membranes with polyunsaturated fatty acids, molecules like EPA and DHA, that stay flexible even under crushing pressure. Without this adaptation, their cell membranes would become rigid and non-functional, like butter left in a freezer. You probably know the blobfish, that sad gelatinous blob that won the title of world's ugliest animal. But here's the thing most people do not know. The blobfish does not actually look like that. In its natural habitat, 600 to 1,200 meters below the surface, off the coasts of Australia and New Zealand, Psychoralutes marcedus looks like a perfectly normal fish. It has a large head, a tapered body, and swims through the water column like any other species. The blob you see in photographs is what happens when the fish is pulled to the surface. Without the immense water pressure that normally supports its soft body, the blobfish literally collapses in on itself. Its body is made mostly of a gelatinous mass with a density slightly less than water. It has no swim bladder, very few muscles, and soft bones. At depth, the surrounding pressure holds everything in place. At the surface, it is like taking a water balloon out of a mold. This is not unique to the blobfish. Virtually every deep-sea creature experiences catastrophic barotrauma when brought to the surface too quickly. As pressure drops, gases dissolved in their blood come out of solution, following Henry's law, forming deadly bubbles in their organs. Meanwhile, their swim bladders, if they have them, expand following Boyle's law, inflating until they push the stomach out through the mouth. Their eyes bulge from their sockets. It is, essentially, the bends, but 1,000 times worse than anything a human diver would experience. Deep-sea creatures do not just have different bodies. They have fundamentally different eyes. In a world where the only light comes from bioluminescence, evolution has crafted visual systems that border on supernatural. Many deep-sea fish have enormously oversized eyes relative to their body. Some species, like the barrel-eye fish Macropina microstoma, have evolved tubular eyes, cylindrical structures that concentrate every available photon like biological telescopes. The barrel-eyed eyes sit inside a completely transparent, fluid-filled dome on top of its head. What appear to be eyes from the front are actually its nostrils. The real eyes can rotate inside the dome to look both upward and forward. Their retinas are equally extreme. While human eyes have a single layer of light-detecting cells, some deep-sea fish have 6 to 8 stacked layers of rod cells, maximizing their chance of catching every photon. One species, the silver spinifin, has 38 different versions of the rhodopsin gene, the protein that detects light. Most vertebrates, including humans, have just 1 or 2. About 87% of deep-sea fish visual pigments are tuned to detect blue-green light between 468 and 494 nanometers, precisely the color of bioluminescence. Now imagine these ultra-sensitive eyes at the surface. The sunlight that we enjoy every day would be absolutely blinding. Their retinas would bleach almost instantly. Many would be permanently blinded within minutes. So now we arrive at the question, what if, through some miracle of evolution, some impossible genetic leap, deep-sea creatures could suddenly survive at the surface? Let us strip away the pressure problem, the temperature shock, and the blinding light. Let us give them a free pass to the sunlit world. What happens next? First, their bodies would face a thermal crisis. Deep-sea enzymes are psychrophilic, cold-loving. They are built with extra flexible molecular structures that work optimally near freezing. Research shows these enzymes lose more than half their activity after just 10 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius. Even typical surface ocean temperatures of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius would progressively denature their proteins. It would be like a slow-motion fever that never breaks. Then there is ultraviolet radiation. Deep-sea organisms have never been exposed to UV light. They lack the protective compounds, like mycosporine-like amino acids, that surface creatures have evolved over millions of years. Their DNA would suffer rapid photodamage, accumulating mutations at a rate their repair mechanisms simply cannot handle. Some deep-sea fish do have ultra-black skin that absorbs over 99.5% of light, but this evolved as camouflage against bioluminescence, not as sunscreen. But let us push this thought experiment further. If deep-sea giants could thrive at the surface, the ocean ecosystem would be thrown into chaos. Consider the giant squid, Architeuthis ducks. Up to 13 meters long, with eyes the size of dinner plates and tentacles lined with toothed suckers that can rip flesh. Now imagine it hunting in the same waters as tuna, swordfish, and sharks. Surface prey species have absolutely no evolutionary experience with these predators. They would have no instinct to flee, no recognition of the threat. Marine biologists call this prey naivety, and it would be devastating. Then there is the colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, the heaviest living invertebrate, weighing up to 700 kilograms. Unlike the giant squid's toothed suckers, the colossal squid's tentacles are armed with sharp, swiveling hooks that can rotate to grip prey. Its eyes, up to 40 centimeters across, are the largest of any known animal, equipped with built-in bioluminescent headlights. And let us not forget the giant isopod, Bathynomus giganteus. These armored crustaceans can grow to 50 centimeters. With their 4,000 facet compound eyes, armored exoskeletons, and the ability to survive months without eating, they would be like underwater tanks rolling across the reef. But let us push this thought experiment further. If deep-sea giants could thrive at the surface, the ocean ecosystem would be thrown into chaos. Consider the giant squid, Architeuthis ducks. Up to 13 meters long, with eyes the size of dinner plates and tentacles lined with toothed suckers that can rip flesh. Now imagine it hunting in the same waters as tuna, swordfish, and sharks. Surface prey species have absolutely no evolutionary experience with these predators. They would have no instinct to flee, no recognition of the threat. Marine biologists call this prey naivety, and it would be devastating. Then there is the colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, the heaviest living invertebrate, with the largest confirmed specimen weighing nearly 500 kilograms. Unlike the giant squid's toothed suckers, the colossal squid's tentacles are armed with sharp, swiveling hooks that can rotate to grip prey. Its eyes, measuring up to 30 centimeters across, are the largest of any known animal, equipped with built-in bioluminescent headlights. And let us not forget the giant isopod, Bathynomus giganteus. These armored crustaceans can grow to 50 centimeters. With their approximately 3,500 facet compound eyes, armored exoskeletons, and the ability to survive months without eating, they would be like underwater tanks rolling across the reef. Perhaps the most fascinating creature that would join this hypothetical surface world is the vampire squid, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, literally meaning vampire squid from hell. Despite its terrifying name, it is actually a gentle detritivore that feeds on marine snow, falling organic particles. It is neither a true squid nor an octopus, but the sole surviving member of an ancient order called Vampiromorphidae. The vampire squid lives in the oxygen minimum zone, between 600 and 900 meters deep, where oxygen levels drop to as low as 3% saturation. It survives here because of extraordinarily efficient hemocyanin, copper-based blue blood that extracts oxygen from water far better than almost any other cephalopod. It has the lowest metabolic rate of any cephalopod and achieves neutral buoyancy through ammonium-rich gelatinous tissue, so it barely needs to swim. At the surface, ironically, the vampire squid would face an environment with too much oxygen and too much energy. Its ultra-efficient, ultra-slow lifestyle would be completely mismatched for the fast-paced, predator-rich surface world. The deep ocean is not just another part of our planet. It is a completely separate world with its own rules, its own physics, and its own evolutionary playbook. The creatures that live there are not simply fish that happen to be deep. They are biological machines precision engineered for an environment so extreme that it would kill almost anything else on Earth. They cannot live on the surface, and that is not a weakness. It is a testament to just how perfectly adapted they are. Every molecule of TMAO, every layer of stacked retinal cells, every polyunsaturated fatty acid in their membranes is a solution to a problem that surface life has never had to face. The deep sea covers more than 60% of our planet's surface, and we have explored less than 5% of it. There are creatures down there that we have never seen, adaptations we have never imagined, and solutions to biological problems we have not yet thought to ask. The question is not really what if they could live up here. The real question is, what else is living down there?